Did you know that in just the past year, over 100,000 immigrants have decided to leave Australia? Voluntarily. That's right, a country once known for golden beaches, high-paying jobs, and a better quality of life is now watching people walk away. But why? What could possibly make someone pack up their entire life and leave the lucky country? Is it the soaring cost of living, racism, broken promises, or is something even deeper driving this silent exodus? The truth might shock you, and it's not just one reason, but a mix of hidden pressures, painful realities, and system failures that many don't talk about. In this video, we're breaking down the 10 biggest reasons why immigrants are giving up on Australia. Some of them will truly surprise you. So stay tuned, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see Australia forever. Number 1. Soaring cost of living. Let's start with one of the most painful realities facing immigrants in Australia today, the sky-high cost of living. Australia has always been expensive, but in recent years, it's reached crisis levels. In fact, Sydney and Melbourne are now ranked among the top 10 most expensive cities in the world, beating out places like London and New York in some areas. Rent alone is a nightmare. In many suburbs, a basic one-bedroom apartment can cost upwards of $600 a week. That's over $2,400 a month just for a roof over your head. Add in groceries, transport, phone bills, and health insurance, and it becomes nearly impossible to save. For many immigrants, especially international students and skilled workers, this isn't what they signed up for. Most came here with the dream of building a better life. But instead, they're working multiple jobs, skipping meals, and living in overcrowded conditions just to survive. What makes it worse is that wages haven't kept up. In fact, while costs have soared, earnings have remained flat. So every month, that financial gap gets wider. And the dream of owning a home? Almost out of reach. The average house price in major cities is now over $1 million, even in outer suburbs. It's no wonder that many are asking themselves, is it really worth it? For some, the answer is no, and that's why they're packing up, returning home, or moving to countries where life is more affordable and sustainable. Because when survival replaces success, the dream dies. Number 2. Tightened immigration policies. Another major reason immigrants are leaving Australia is the growing frustration with strict and unpredictable immigration policies. What was once a clear pathway to permanent residency has now become a long, confusing, and stressful journey, with no guarantee of success. Many skilled workers come to Australia believing their expertise is needed, but when they arrive, they are met with ever-changing visa rules, constant policy updates, and requirements that seem to shift overnight. A visa that once took months can now take years to process, and even then, approval isn't promised. Temporary visa holders often live in a state of limbo. They can't plan their future, buy a house, or confidently start a family. Some aren't even allowed to change careers, travel freely, or access essential benefits. Every few years, they must reapply, pay huge fees, and hope the rules haven't changed against them. And then there's the emotional toll. Many skilled migrants are told they are crucial to Australia's workforce, yet they still struggle to secure permanent residency despite working, paying taxes, and contributing to society just like locals. Imagine spending thousands of dollars, years of your life, and all your energy trying to build a future, only to hear, "Sorry, you don't qualify anymore." It's heartbreaking, and many feel unwanted or stuck in a system that doesn't appreciate them. So instead of waiting endlessly, immigrants are choosing certainty elsewhere. Countries like Canada, Germany, and New Zealand offer clearer pathways, faster approvals, and a friendlier, more supportive approach. Because when a country makes it so difficult for you to stay, you start to wonder if you're even welcome. Number 3. Racism and discrimination. Australia is often praised for being a multicultural nation. And yes, it truly is home to people from all around the world. But beneath the surface, many immigrants experience a very different reality, one filled with racism, discrimination, and exclusion. It's not always obvious. It's not always violent. But it's there. In job interviews, in housing applications, in classrooms, and even in the streets. Imagine sending out dozens of resumes and hearing nothing back, until you change your name from Raj to Ryan, or May to Mary. It happens more often than people think. Many immigrants also report being overlooked for promotions, treated differently at work, or made to feel like outsiders, even after years of living in Australia. And while the majority of Australians are kind and welcoming, it only takes a few negative encounters to make someone feel unwanted and unsafe. In 2023, surveys showed that 1 in 4 migrants experienced discrimination based on their ethnic background. For many, the constant microaggressions, the stares, the comments, the casual insults start to chip away at their confidence and sense of belonging. Even children aren't spared. Immigrant families often worry about how their kids are treated at school, especially if they look or speak differently. So what happens next? Some try to push through it. Others look for places where they'll be truly accepted, not just tolerated. They want to live in a country where they're seen for their skills, character, and culture, not their accent or skin color. Because no matter how good the pay or the weather might be, if you don't feel like you belong, it doesn't feel like home. We put a lot of heart and effort into creating videos that matter, so if this spoke to you, drop a comment and share your thoughts or experiences. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it helps us keep telling the stories that need to be heard.
Number 4. Job market mismatch. One of the most frustrating experiences for immigrants in Australia is the disconnect between their qualifications and the job market. Many arrive highly educated, experienced, and ready to contribute, but soon discover that finding a job in their field is shockingly difficult. Here's the harsh truth. Australia often doesn't recognize foreign qualifications. A doctor from India, an engineer from Nigeria, or a teacher from the Philippines might have years of experience, but here they're often told they need to start over, take expensive bridging courses, or pass local accreditation exams that can take years. So what do? They work below their skill level. You'll find engineers delivering food, accountants working as cleaners, and IT professionals stuck in casual retail jobs just to pay the bills. It's not because they're unqualified. It's because the system doesn't give them a fair chance. On top of that, local experience is often a requirement for jobs. But how can you gain local experience if no one gives you a start? It's a cruel cycle that leaves many feeling invisible and undervalued. And it gets worse. Skilled migrants often come on points-based visas, chosen specifically for their profession. But once here, they realize that jobs in their field are limited, highly competitive, or not even available in their city. The result? Disappointment, burnout, and the feeling of being misled. So it's no surprise that some immigrants decide to leave. They seek countries where their skills are recognized and respected, and where the job market aligns with the promises made during migration. Because at the end of the day, people migrate to build a better life, not to be stuck at the bottom despite being qualified for the top.
Number 5. Isolation and mental health challenges. Moving to a new country is never easy. But for many immigrants in Australia, the emotional toll runs deeper than expected. Behind the smiling photos and Instagram posts lies a reality filled with loneliness, isolation, and mental health struggles that often go unseen. Imagine leaving behind your family, friends, language, and culture,
everything familiar, to start over in a country where you may not know anyone. At first, it feels like an adventure, but over time, the silence grows louder. Many immigrants, especially international students and new arrivals, report feeling deeply disconnected. They struggle to make friends, understand social norms, or feel truly accepted in their community. Cultural differences, language barriers, and the pressure to fit in only make things worse. And it's not just emotional, it's psychological. Studies show that immigrants are at higher risk of anxiety, depression, and stress-related disorders, especially when dealing with visa uncertainty, job insecurity, and discrimination. What makes it even more difficult is that mental health is still a taboo topic in many cultures. People often feel ashamed to speak up or seek help, and when they do, they face long wait times, high costs, or services that don't understand their cultural background. The result? Silent suffering. Many bottle it up. Some push through, but others decide they've had enough. They miss home. They miss support. They miss feeling human. That's why some immigrants choose to leave, not because they failed, but because they're choosing peace over pressure. They return to places where they feel seen, supported, and emotionally safe. Because mental health matters, and no dream is worth losing yourself over.
Number 6. Exploitation in the workforce. One of the most heartbreaking and infuriating reasons immigrants are leaving Australia is the widespread exploitation they face in the workforce. From hospitality to cleaning to agriculture, countless migrants, especially international students and temporary visa holders, are being underpaid, overworked, and taken advantage of. And the worst part? Many feel they have no choice but to accept it. Reports have revealed that some workers are paid as little as $8 to $10 an hour, far below Australia's minimum wage. Others are forced to work excessive hours without breaks, under the threat of being fired or reported to immigration. And it's not just small businesses. Even large corporations have been caught wage stealing or turning a blind eye to illegal practices by subcontractors. Why does this happen? Because many immigrants are on temporary visas with strict work limits. They fear speaking up could cost them their job, their visa, or their future in Australia. Employers take advantage of this vulnerability, and it's modern-day exploitation hidden in plain sight. Take international students, for example. Officially, they're only allowed to work 48 hours per fortnight. But with sky-high living costs, many work extra hours just to survive, often in unsafe conditions. They're constantly afraid of getting caught, fined, or deported. And even when skilled migrants land jobs, they're often paid less than their local counterparts or denied promotions simply because of their visa status. Over time, this treatment creates deep frustration and a sense of injustice. Many begin to ask, why am I giving my best to a country that doesn't value me back? That's when the decision to leave becomes clear, because no one should have to trade their dignity for a paycheck.
Number 7. Housing crisis. If there's one thing nearly every immigrant in Australia is struggling with right now, it's the housing crisis. Simply put, finding a place to live has become a nightmare. Rental prices across Australia have hit record highs, especially in major cities like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. A basic one-bedroom apartment in an average suburb can easily cost $500 to $700 per week, and that's if you're lucky enough to get approved. Vacancy rates are at their lowest in decades, meaning there are more people looking for homes than there are places to live. This has led to bidding wars, 50-plus people showing up for inspections, and landlords increasing rent with little notice. For immigrants, particularly those without a long rental history, full-time jobs, or Australian guarantors, the system feels rigged.
Many report being denied rental applications even if they have the money and paperwork in order. Some are forced to live in overcrowded share houses, unsafe conditions, or temporary accommodation that drains their savings. Others are pushed to the outskirts of cities, facing long commutes and isolation just to find something remotely affordable. And if you dream of owning a home, that dream is becoming increasingly impossible. The median house price in Sydney has climbed back above $1.3 million. And even in regional areas, prices are rising fast. It's more than just inconvenient. It's unsustainable. For many immigrants, housing stress becomes the final straw. When you're spending most of your income just to keep a roof over your head and still feel insecure, it's hard to see a future. That's why some are choosing to leave, seeking countries where housing is fair, accessible, and affordable. Because everyone deserves a safe place to call home.
Number 8. Family separation and visa stress. For many immigrants, the biggest burden isn't money, housing, or jobs. It's being separated from their loved ones. Australia's immigration system, especially for temporary visa holders, often makes it extremely difficult to bring family members over. Some visas don't allow dependents at all, while others involve years of waiting, thousands of dollars in fees, and an endless mountain of paperwork. Imagine starting a new life in a foreign country, alone. You work, you study, you try to build a future, but your spouse, children, or parents are half a world away. You miss birthdays, milestones, even funerals, all while living in uncertainty, wondering when or if you'll be reunited. Many migrants live like this for years. A simple visa update or policy change can throw their entire life into chaos. Some parents have missed their child's first steps. Others haven't hugged their family in 5 to 10 years. And then there's the constant visa stress. Temporary residents often live on short-term visas that need to be renewed frequently, each time costing thousands of dollars with no guarantee of approval. One mistake, one missed deadline, or one policy change, and their life in Australia could be turned upside down. This emotional toll can be devastating. The stress, anxiety, and sense of being trapped becomes too much for many. And so some make the painful choice to leave, not because they want to, but because they can't keep living apart from the people they love. They choose connection over paperwork, family over frustration, and freedom over fear. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of a better life if you can't share it with the people who matter most? Number 9. Healthcare access issues. One of the most overlooked struggles immigrants face in Australia is access to affordable and reliable health care. While permanent residents and citizens enjoy Medicare, the country's public health care system, many temporary migrants and international students are left out of the safety net. For them, health care in Australia is expensive and complicated. A simple doctor's visit can cost $80 to $120 up front, and that's before any tests, prescriptions, or follow-up appointments. Emergency care? That can run into thousands of dollars, and if you're uninsured or underinsured, you're paying out of pocket. Although some visa holders are required to get private health insurance, it often comes with limited coverage, high excess fees, and long wait times for claims. Many policies also exclude pre-existing conditions, leaving patients vulnerable when they need care the most. And it's not just about money. There are also language barriers, a lack of culturally sensitive services, and limited awareness about mental health support, especially for migrants who come from countries where these topics are still taboo. This leads many immigrants to avoid going to the doctor altogether, even when they're sick.
They self-medicate, delay treatment, or ignore symptoms, all because they're worried about the cost or confused by the system. It's a risky situation that affects not just individuals, but entire families. For people who came to Australia seeking a better life, the idea that basic health care might bankrupt them is both shocking and heartbreaking. That's why some decide to leave, heading to countries where healthcare is more accessible, inclusive, and affordable. Because when your health is at risk, everything else, jobs, visas, dreams, comes second. After all, what good is opportunity if you can't even afford to stay healthy?
Number 10. Changing lifestyle priorities post-COVID. The COVID-19 pandemic didn't just disrupt the world, it changed how people think about life. And for many immigrants in Australia, it triggered a powerful realization. Success isn't just about career or status, it's about balance, belonging, and peace of mind. During lockdowns, immigrants faced some of the harshest restrictions in the world. Australia's international borders were closed for nearly 2 years, leaving thousands trapped and cut off from their families overseas. Weddings were postponed, parents couldn't say goodbye to dying loved ones, children grew up without grandparents nearby. That period left deep emotional scars, but it also made people rethink what truly matters. The hustle culture, high cost of living, and pressure to make it in Australia began to feel less meaningful when compared to a life with more connection, freedom, and simplicity, even if it meant earning less. Some immigrants began to see better options elsewhere. Countries like Canada, Germany, Portugal, and even back home started looking more appealing, not just economically, but emotionally. People started choosing places where they could live slower, spend more time with family, feel supported by the system, and access things like healthcare, childcare, or homeownership without drowning in debt. In short, COVID shifted the mindset. The Australian dream began to feel like a trap for some, rather than a ticket to a better life. So now many are leaving, not out of failure or bitterness, but out of clarity. They've realized that the good life isn't just about what country you live in, it's about how you feel while living there. Because after everything we've all been through, one thing is clear. Peace is the new success. So why are immigrants leaving Australia? It's not just one reason. It's a mix of economic pressure, emotional exhaustion, systemic challenges, and a deep sense of disconnection. From sky-high rent to unrecognized qualifications, from visa limbo to silent racism, many feel like the promise they came chasing has slowly faded away. These aren't just numbers or headlines. These are real stories, real people, and real heartbreak. People who came here full of hope are now packing up and walking away, not because they failed, but because they're choosing to put their well-being and dignity first. Australia remains a land of opportunity, but only for those who can afford to wait, adapt, and sacrifice. And sadly, for many, that price has become too high. But here's the thing. Leaving isn't the end. For many, it's just the beginning of something better. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from a dream that no longer serves you. So what can be done to stop this silent exodus and make Australia a place where immigrants can truly thrive? It starts with policy reform. Australia needs clearer, faster, and fairer immigration pathways. Skilled migrants shouldn't have to wait in years in limbo or jump through endless hoops. If someone is already contributing, working, paying taxes, raising families, they should be given a stable future to plan their lives with confidence. Next, we need to recognize overseas qualifications more fairly. It's a waste of talent to have doctors, engineers, and teachers doing jobs they're overqualified for. Creating bridging programs, fast-tracked assessments, and mentorship opportunities would help immigrants transition into roles that match their skills. There must also be stronger protections against workplace exploitation. Enforcing fair pay laws, offering anonymous reporting channels, and supporting migrant workers with legal aid can make a real difference. In housing, governments must invest in affordable housing options and prevent rental discrimination. Immigrants need to feel secure,
not just economically, but emotionally and socially. And finally, let's build stronger community support systems, from mental health resources to cultural inclusion programs, so immigrants feel seen, supported, and safe. Australia has all the ingredients to be a truly inclusive and thriving multicultural society. But it will take action, empathy, and awareness to make that dream real, for everyone, not just a few. If this video opened your eyes, we'd love to hear your story or thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters more than you think. And if you found this helpful, make sure to check out our previous video. It dives even deeper into the challenges immigrants face. We pour our heart and energy into making these videos, so if you want to support us, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay informed and stay empowered.